Hello, my dear students. Welcome back again to Module 9 with Grammar 9a, but Part 2. You have to refer to your students' books on pages 131, and for any grammar reference, you can just go to page 175. We're going also to work on our workbooks, page 101. Okay? What are our objectives for today? We have three main objectives for today, which by the end of our lesson, you're expected to be able to achieve. This is number one, identify the passive voice formation, how to form certain passive voice sentences that have some verbs taking infinitive and gerund. 2. Recognize the personal or impersonal construction in the passive voice. 3. Apply the acquired rules. Why? To change given sentences from active to passive, from active voice to passive voice. Everything will become quite clear by the passage of time, so don't worry yourselves about the objectives. They are very easy to understand by the passage of time. My good students, in this activity, activity C, I need you all to go through these examples, which are in the active voice, and compare them to the passive ones. Find as many differences as you can and come back to me. I'll be waiting for you. Welcome back. First of all, let me discuss with you the first couple of sentences together. Why together? Because both have what we call verbs of perception. See, hear, watch, smell, feel, and note. Sometimes these verbs are followed by the infinitive, like go. We saw Hanan go into the supermarket. So and go. Some other times they are followed by the gerund form. Gerund, ing, yes. I heard. Here is the verb of perception. Heard. Jack and Jill arguing, and here is the ing form. What happens when we change them into passive? Check the highlighted words. We saw Hanan go into the supermarket. So Hanan was seen. Go is the bare infinitive. Bare infinitive? Yes. We call it a bare infinitive. Becomes to go? Yes. Changed into a full infinitive. So after these verbs, the bare infinitive changed into a full one. What happens if they are followed by a gerund? I heard Jack and Jill arguing. No problem. Do the passive. Okay. So Jack and Jill were heard. Arguing? Yes. Arguing? Yes. So it remains the same? Of course it is. So the ing form following these verbs doesn't change, remain the same. Number 3. The teacher made us do a project on acid rain. If the verb make or made or is making or will make is there in the sentence, check. Oh, what is this? Do. The teacher made us do. Do is an infinitive. Of course, it's a bare infinitive. What should we do? Don't worry yourself. Check. The teacher made us. Us is the object. It becomes the subject. So it is we were made, past simple tense, passive form, passive voice. We were made, do becomes to do. This means that after make, we change the bare infinitive into, of course, a full one. Passive, then do becomes to do. Passive, then the bare infinitive becomes full infinitive. Number 4, let. They let the children plant trees. Let. What do we have after let here? Let is followed by a bare infinitive. Where is it? It is in here. Plant. They let the children plant. Okay, let. So the children were let. No. This is the first change happens here. We change let into allowed. But make sure it is preceded properly by an appropriate part of verb to be. Am, is, are when present. Was, were when past. And then what happens to the verb plant? To the infinitive? To the bare infinitive? Bare infinitive becomes excellent, a full one. So first we change let into allowed, preceding it with am, is, are, was, or were. It depends. And then we change the bare infinitive into a full one. Next, I didn't expect them to invite me to the barbecue. Expect, yes. I didn't expect them to invite, yes. I didn't expect, again, no problem. Okay. What happens to the to invite? To invite, to plus invite after verbs like expect or need or want, yes. To plus base form, yes. What happens? We change them into to plus be plus pp. No problem. It's very easy. I didn't expect to invite. I didn't expect to be invited. The last one. I hate people lying to me. Hate, love, like, dislike, enjoy. Such verbs which can be followed by the gerund. Yes. What happens? What happens to the gerund form here? See, when passive. I hate. I hate. Lying. What happens? Being lied to. So we use being to make sure that it is progressive. Being followed by the PP form of the verb, past participle. Okay? With more practice, everything will be fine, hopefully. Activity D, my good students, says, read the pairs of sentences and answer these questions. Pause the video and read so that you can answer. Okay, welcome back. It is said that plastic takes years to break down. Plastic is said to take years to break down. What probably takes years to break down? What? Great. Of course, plastic. Who says so? Who? People. You. Me. Someone. Maybe scientists. Very good. Both sentences above are in the passive voice. How do we find out? Verb to be plus past participle. Again, verb to be plus past participle. So they are passive, surely. How can we express the same meaning by using the active voice? How? People or scientists say that plastic takes years to break down. This is how. It is said by people. So the subject in the active voice is people or scientists. Is said, it is present simple in the passive voice. So when active, so it is either say or says. It depends on the subject. People say. Say what? That so and so. So people say that plastic takes years to break down. Is this clear? Again, some more questions, 4, 5, and 6. So please pause the video and answer. Welcome back. Now, which other verbs can be used instead of said here to make general statements? Instead of saying it is said, what else can we say? We can say it is believed, thought, considered, it is known, reported, supposed, it's announced, it's expected, claimed, etc. One more question. What is believed in this sentence? You must have read it. It is believed that the term smog was used for the first time in the early 1900s. Here is what is believed. Question 6. Both sentences above are in the passive. It is said, plastic is said, it is believed, all are passive. How can we change them into active? Keeping the meaning the same, of course. It is believed that the term smog was used. Who believe this? Who believes so? People believe that the term smog was used for the first time in the early 1900s. Now I need all of you to pay attention to these verbs: know, believe, say, think, and there are so many others, like suggest, expect, and so on. These verbs are often followed by a that clause. That clause? Yes. Scientists say, here is the verb, that plastic takes years to break down. Here is the that clause. That clause. Okay. Now, is this example active voice or passive? Scientists say it is, of course, active. We don't have be plus pp. So it is active. Now let me know how many subjects and verbs we have in the sentence. Can you? Of course you can. Scientists is the first subject, whereas plastic, which takes years, is the second one. What about the verbs? Say, which we call the introductory verb, is verb number 1. Takes years, that's the main verb. Takes years is verb number 2. Do we have an object here? No. What about to break down? This is a complement. Sometimes we have an object following the main sentence, the sentence telling us about the issue in hand. Sometimes we just have a complement. There is no object. Okay. How can we change such a general statement, a general sentence, into passive? Here is how. We have two ways indeed. We can start with it. We can just write it. We can use the word with the pronoun it to start our passive construction with, followed by the passive form. Passive form of what? Of the first verb, the introductory verb, or the main verb? Of course, of verb number 1, of know, believe, say, think, suppose. So no problem. It, the verb is present simple. Am is are. It is. The PP of say is said. So it is said. What's then? Write down the that clause. That's it. So it is said that plastic takes years to break down. Very easy. Okay. What about the other way? This is passive number 2. Okay. What shall we do here? I need you to start with subject number 2. Okay, plastic. Do passive. Okay. Use the introductory verb when making passive after subject 2. So it is plastic, plastic, am is are, plastic is, say, said, said, plastic is said. That's it. Subject number 2, passive, referring to the main verb, no, to the introductory verb, of course. So we say plastic is said to, and then make a pause. Then wait for a while. Why? To check what should we use after to. Are we going to use the base form of the main verb or have plus pp of the main verb, verb number 2? It depends. Depends on what? On the tense of this verb, verb number 2. What do you mean? I mean if it is present simple, so we use to plus the infinitive to take. If not, what do you mean by if not? If it is past simple, present perfect, past perfect, for instance, so we don't use to plus the infinitive, to plus the base form. What should we use instead? We have to use to plus have plus pp to put the tense in the correct form. Well, that's it. Well, so we say plastic is said to take years to break down. How about making a bit clearer? Let's go through this sentence. They think that the factory dumped toxic waste into the lake. They, subject number 1, factory, subject number 2, toxic waste, it is not a complement. It is an object. Very good. Into the lake. This is a complement. What about the verbs? Think, say, believe. Verb number 1. Dumped, verb number 2. Sometimes you are asked to start with it. What should you do? It. Passive number 1. No problem. It. Look at the introductory verb. Make passive. So it. Think it is thought. Then write down the that clause. Very easy. It is thought that so and so. Sometimes you are required to start with the factory. Factory? I mean subject number 2. Okay, the main subject. Yes. So the factory. Look at the introductory verb and make passive. Do your passive. Okay. The factory am, is, are. The factory is. Think, thought. The factory is thought. To, and then pause for a while. Be patient. Why? To check. The factory is subject number 2. Yes. So we say the factory is thought, passive, out of think. To have dumped. Why? Why didn't we say to dump? Check. The verb dumped is not actually a present simple tense. It's past simple. That's why, as I said a while ago, we use to plus have plus pp. Then complete the sentence. Okay. What about this question? Here you are not required to start with any of the subjects. You are expected to start with the object. Toxic waste? Yes. Let us find out how we can do this. No problem. It's very easy. Don't worry. Toxic waste, passive. Think, am, is, are, thought. Toxic waste is thought. Toxic waste, which is the object of sentence number 2, is the passive. Thought, out of think. Toxic waste is thought. To. Pause here. Why should I pause? Pause to check. To check what? The tense. Dumped. Yes. The verb was dumped. The tense was past simple. Yes. So it is to plus have plus pb. Not completely right. Not totally right. As long as you are starting with the object here, so you have to make passive again. Because this is the object, remember? So it is not to have dumped, it's to have been dumped. Again, to have been dumped. So this means that when you start with that subject number 2, what happens? We use to have plus pp. Very good. To have dumped. When you start with the object of the main sentence, what happens? We use to plus have plus been plus pp. So, to have been dumped, yes, that's it. Got it? Very good. Here are some examples for you, some questions to work on. Okay, you are expected to rewrite the following sentences, starting with the words giving. Okay. They haven't set a date for the beach cleanup yet. Start with the object, a date. A date for what? A date for the beach cleanup. Check the tense. Haven't set. It's present perfect. And the rule says have or has plus been plus pp. A date takes has. Negative, so it is hasn't. So we say a date for the beach cleanup. What happened? Hasn't been set yet. Okay? 2. People think that the factory dumped toxic waste into the river. Here is the impersonal structure. People believe. People know. People suggest. People say. People think. Think what? That the factory. Here you're supposed to start with what? Subject number 2. The factory. Check think. Present simple. So you say the factory, am or is or are, is. Think, the pp is, thought. So we say the factory is thought. What about verb number 2? It is past simple. So we use to plus have plus pp. Here it is. The factory is thought to, don't say to dump because it's past simple. To have pp. To have dumped. Dumped what? toxic waste where? Into the river. Okay? Now pause the video and do 3 and 4. Welcome back. Here is the answer. It is present progressive, plural, so it is are being used by the doer of the action. 4. Great. The park official saw a teenage boy throw a plastic bottle into the lake. Starting with a teenage boy, subject number 2. No problem. Check the introductive verb. So past simple. So it is was or were plus seen plus the PB. A teenage boy was seen. Very good. Check the main verb, throw. So it is to throw because it is not past. Because it is not past perfect. Because it is not present perfect. It is simply present simple tense. Some more questions? Oh, are you ready? Okay. Very good. They must do something about the problem of littering in the city. Here is the answer. 6. Very good. Next. 7. Okay. 8. Excellent. You have done a good job. I'm so proud of you all. Now let's go to the workbook, page 101. Do the same thing? Yes. You could have recycled those plastic bottles instead. Those plastic bottles. Hey, where is the answer? Very good. 2. Excellent. 3. Nice. 4. Great. Some more examples, some more questions. Pause the video and answer. Here are the answers. You can just refer to both the rule we have taken and the answers to these questions. Thank you very much indeed for watching us today. You can just refer to this video as usual on the Microsoft Teams. Till we meet again, goodbye.